Dice Throne is a fun dice combat game created in 2017, reminiscent of Yahtzee-style play. Upcoming for the series is a remastered first edition, a second season, and Dice Throne Adventures, a multi- or single campaign style game. To start the game, you choose your hero, get their board, leaflet, tokens, health dial, and deck. Your health is set to 50 for 1v1 game, and your combat points start at 2. The hero's attacks and defensive rolls are found on the hero's board. Every attack has a needed combination of symbols that trigger the attack. The dice have 3 symbols each, with each face having one of the symbols. The hero leaflets describe the types of effects you can inflict on an enemy, or use for your benefit. These effects are triggered with an attack on the hero's board, and the players affected are given the effects token. The effects also have a stack limit. Either they won't stack, which means that only one can be applied per player, or they will have a number limit, with that number being the amount of effects that can be applied per player. Any terms in the game can be found on the glossary on the back of the rulebook. Now we're going to start a round. Shuffle your cards and draw 4 from the top. After your game pieces and deck is set, both players roll a dice to see who goes first. The card types are different colors, each associated with what phase of the game they can be played on. They also have an indicator in the top right of the card of when they can be played. The turns happen in phases, starting with the upkeep phase. This phase usually involves players affected by status effects or heroes with a passive ability. Next comes the income phase. You draw 1 card and gain 1 combat point. This phase is skipped by the starting player on their first turn. Now the main phase happens. You can use a hero upgrade and main phase action cards this phase and sell cards you don't want for 1 combat point. During the offensive roll phase, you can roll each dice up to 3 times to activate an offensive ability. During this phase, any player can use a roll action phase card. My first roll has 3 arrow and 2 moon symbols. I can use either longbow or demising shot with this roll, but I want to hit harder. I'm going to try for a better eclipse attack. I want to keep my 2 moons and re-roll my arrows. I get 3 of the 4 moons I need, but it's not enough. But I am able to use an exploding arrow attack, so that's what I'll do instead. Exploding arrow lets me roll 5 dice to determine my damage. I roll 4 bows. That makes it 11 damage. I also roll a moon, which makes my opponent lose 1 CP, and this attack also inflicts blind. This was a good roll. Not all effects are gotten rid of the same way, so be sure to read the game text to figure out how to remove an effect. The targeting roll phase is only used during a game with more than 2 players. Those types of games have different rules than the base game. Those rules can be found in the rulebook. The defensive roll phase gives the defending player a chance to use their defensive ability with a roll of a certain number of dice indicated on the hero board. A roll phase card can be played in this phase as well. After the fighting, the active player has a second main phase, which is the same as the first main phase. The last step is to sell cards in your hand until you have 6 or less in your hand. Combat points are limited to 15 per player. These phases are continued by each player until one player has 0 health left. If upgrading an attack or defense on the board, the cost from the 2nd to 3rd level card only costs the difference between their combat points. So Exploding Arrow 2 costs 2 CP and Exploding Arrow 3 costs 3 CP. The difference is 1 CP, so only 1 is needed to upgrade to the 3rd level card. The heroes all have their own styles of play, so be sure to try them all out.